Hi, I'm Andrea and welcome to Productive C Sharp. In this video, I want to talk about how you can use the text-to-speech translator test API using the cognitive services in Microsoft Azure. Here, as you can see, I have the Azure portal opened. The first step is to create a translator text API under the cognitive services tab in Azure. As soon as you do that, you will be able to see here an overview of your service, and you can access the keys that you need, any key that you need to actually use C# to access the service. Let's switch to Visual Studio and let's have a look how you can use the text-to-speech API. So the program I actually created is a program that, let's have a look at the main, read a text from the console and then call the text-to-speech API that is basically an HTTP API, an HTTP request that returns an MP3 stream of bytes, and then I'm using an audio to actually play the audio. So basically you type some text, press enter, and then you actually hear the Azure text-to-speech. Let's run it so that we can see it in action before actually looking at the code. Okay, now I can write some text. Let's say Andrea, and this is Product C#.
I am Andrea, and this is Productive C#.
As you can see, I have actually the pronunciation done correctly. Let's try another one. This is fantastic. Azure is reading this text. Wow.
This is fantastic. Azure is reading this text. Yeah.
You got the idea, is it? Let's close it. Okay, so the first of all, I have the key that I actually copied from the Azure portal. Then I have the Azure file name. So as you can see, this is actually the name of the file that will be saved to disk before actually being reproduced. I have an HTTP client that I need to be able to do the request, and I provide a particular header that actually specifies the key. So this allows you to authenticate to the translator test API. Then let's have a look inside the main speak method. Okay, so what actually we do is actually take the test, we encode it, and then we create a particular URI that is basically the URI you need to call in order to get the test translated. Not translated, actually speech. Okay, so this is the URL. As you can see, the parameters are the language that your text is written in, the text. You can specify the format of the response. That could be a WAV file or an MP3 in this case, and you can provide the options like the sex of the voice, so that could be an email or female. And you can provide the quality here, mean size, basically optimize the size of the MP3 file, or you could choose max quality if you want to actually have a very high quality response. And then we call the actual URI, and we get a result that is basically a stream. Okay, then we have a method save stream to disk and play audio. Let's have a look at those methods. So save stream to disk, take a stream and basically create a memory stream, save all the bytes into the memory stream, and then use the file write all bytes to actually save all the bytes that we get from the response into a particular MP3 file on the disk. And finally, play audio. Use an audio API to, given a file name, actually play the video, the MP3. You can find this code on GitHub in the an audio documentation. As you can see, I've added an audio as a NuGet dependency and Microsoft.NET HTTP that is required in order to be able to use the HTTP client. And this is pretty much it. It's actually quite an amazing service. You can just do a simple HTTP request, pass in your text, and then you will get back an MP3 file with the actual pronunciation of the text. It's that simple. So thank you very much for watching.